Hello, hello. We are live. Welcome
No,
to Retro Fandango, episode number 170. I will do the intro while Richard fills in some stuff in the outline that he wants to talk about.
we having that one?
Where'd all my stuff? Oh, yeah, it's there. Okay. Yeah, there's an outline. Oh, maybe I need to share it. Do I need to share it with
Oh, look at that.
you? Yes. Save it. Add Richard. Usually you do this. It's been a long time since I've actually had to set up an outline, so I'm
Well, I had no
rusty.
idea what we were doing. I couldn't remember.
That's fine.
And I sent you a message before I went to bed.
Yeah.
And very unlike you, you didn't respond right away.
Isn't
Probably
that annoying?
You're busy stuffing your face with pancakes.
Isn't that annoying when you send someone a message on Twitter and they don't reply for a long time? They don't get back to you?
Yeah, well, especially if you're working. I got crumbs on my pop filter. Especially if you're working with the timeline, the time zone difference. Like, you would be awake when I send you a message. Whereas if you send me a message, it's usually when I'm asleep.
You actually sent me a message while I was in the shower getting ready for bed, and I didn't see it. Because I had to go to bed super early because I had to get up super early this morning because Disney Plus dropped a new show that my channel needed at 12:01 a.m.
12:01 a.m.
12:01 a.m. As soon as this drops, we need this right in the system. I said, I'll be in at 5, and that's when you're going to get it, 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. So that's how my day started. And it's funny that you picked up on the Twitter thing because I kind of deleted it from my phone.
Oh, are you back into that now?
I need to take like a month off of Twitter because just sometimes you just need to take time away from crazy. And so I'm still checking my messages. Once in a while I go on there and I look at the messages.
Is this crazy life situation? Is this crazy interaction situation?
A little from column A and a little from column B.
Yeah,
100%.
I'll tell you, it's the B that's going to get you. That's what made me delete it.
Yeah. Let me get to the intro here. Welcome to 170, episode 170. Quick Save Club is playing Streamer 2 this month and racing games. I've been playing Forza 7. Forza 7, and it's good times. The Cartridge Club is playing Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. And then next month, they'll be playing Ghostbusters, the video game. I'm not too happy that Ghostbusters, the video game, is getting the shortest month of the year, but it's getting a month, so that's something. But I hear there's going to be special guests for that show. For that,
I have heard tell.
If you are a fan of Cartridge Club Classic, as Steven Eiter has titled it, you're going to want to tune in.
A bit of a family reunion, you might say.
Yeah. A family reunion for us on a different show. And in March, Turtle Power. They're playing TMNT games.
Hey, I got ready for that. I watched the 1990 Ninja Turtle movie the other day.
And?
Still what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, you might as well, right? They're not going to go back in time and change it. So, just
Michael Bay tried.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, believe me, you're going to get more turtle movies and cartoons and stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's
many years to come.
Yeah, it's never going away.
It's coming away just in worse and worse and worse versions. But
one day,
try something.
See, this is the cycle it goes in. Okay, for the Ninja Turtles, there isn't the guy that is our age yet who is in charge of the movie studio. Once you get a guy that's our age that's in charge of the movie studio that grew up with the Ninja Turtles, that's when you'll see somebody take the franchise seriously and you'll get the decent reboot. Because he'll be like, no, spend the extra money to do it right. Don't just phone it in for the kids.
Yeah. Well, we've got the merchandise now. You know, if you're a turtle fan, they have produced a lot. They do the classic 1987 cartoon stuff. They pump out a bunch of merchandise for that. I think it's NECA that was doing those high quality movie figures that have been going around for a while. So the merchandise is there. They just keep pumping out like, oh, hey, remember this? Buy this stuff. Buy this stuff.
Yeah.
They're just not producing any new narratives.
Yeah.
Of any substance. What else were we talking about?
RF Gen's plug. They're not doing anything this month. Good for them. They're taking a month off. That's the way to do it, man. January, next week, January 23rd at 4 p.m. That's a Saturday. Tune in to our Discord channel because we will be watching Longshot or Longshot Kids off of Tubi. I'm going to stream that right live to Discord, and everyone's welcome to come in and join us and watch Longshots.
Somebody's got to tell me how to get into a Discord.
Oh boy! Well, I
tried for the Seinfeld one, and it took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to get back into that thing. You know, you got to remember a password and click this and what's going on, and I don't know.
Stay tuned for next week's episode of Fandango. That'll be on the Friday, where we show Richard how to get into Discord, and then on Saturday we'll have him in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Then next month,
you got to give me like a 30-minute buffer to get myself set up in it.
I think the movie is only an hour and a half long, so
okay,
you should be able. It should work out. Next month we're doing The Godfather 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Those movies are quite lengthy, as I remember.
Yes, and if you want to watch 3, feel free to watch 3. But there was some discussion in the Discord channel doing Al Pacino movies, and that was the other thing I was kind of thinking of. It's like, can't really get into the Al Pacino movies unless you've seen The Godfather. You need to know where he's coming from, I think.
Hoo-ah. That's what I know about Al Pacino. Hoo-ah.
Yep.
Hey, I got an outline here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting up to speed here. Okay. I'm gonna add something here.
So let me tell you, today, Sarah and I were having a bit of a day. Actually, yesterday and today, we were having bitter days. So today I came home. I got home a little early, and I made pancakes for lunch. I just whipped them up.
Pancakes for lunch. What kind of fantasy world you living in?
It just felt like it. It felt right. It's like I need something sweet with a lot of carbs in it because I've been eating too well lately. I just need some trash to put down my throat. So I made them from scratch with the flour and the
That's
egg,
how you do it.
a little baking soda, a little bit of sugar. They called for a full tablespoon, but I just put a teaspoon in. And because I don't like stuff too sweet. And they said salt. I said, I don't need salt. And then I mushed up 2 bananas because they got to be banana pancakes.
Yeah. Well, that's where you get your sugar from. So you don't even need to worry about the others.
And let me tell you, it was tasty. Yeah, we got rocket sauce in here. He had pancakes for dinner last night.
Nice.
There you go. See? Nothing wrong with that.
Living the IHOP style.
You don't have to have pancakes. Like, they're not just for breakfast. They're an anytime food.
I try to pass that on, but it doesn't really fly so much in my house.
Really? Like, you won't do breakfast for, like, the bacon and eggs for supper?
I'd be happy to. My
they won't
kids
do it.
would be happy to.
Really?
There's only one holdout.
Wow. That's an interesting hang up. We do that all the time.
I love breakfast for dinner, for lunch, anything. I still dream of walking into a diner, just saying, you know what? I'll have a burger for breakfast. I'll have some eggs and bacon for dinner. Anytime's okay in the diner life.
Let me tell you, I have that dream too now because we are in lockdown again. And we can't go anywhere. Still can't go anywhere. So Richard blows his nose. Rocket Sauce said he had a side of berries and bananas with his pancakes. Which is a way
I
to
do
do it.
believe, I do believe the last time I made pancakes, which is usually every Sunday morning, I did make banana pancakes as well.
Yeah, that's the best kind.
Mm.
And Chris
Hey, it's
Roberts
Chris
says
Roberts.
he says to have ice cream for breakfast.
I don't know if I can do that.
That's a little too sweet for me. Like even my pancakes were not that sweet. I didn't have too much. Actually didn't have too much syrup. I forgot to check the syrup in the house. It was about that much.
That's what I missed, though. I never use syrup
On the pancakes?
Yeah, I don't normally buy syrup.
Well, Sarah will sometimes make these desserts like an apple. Like if we have apples that are not like sometimes when you get apples and you get them home and they're mushy, like they're not crisp apples. It's like they sat too close to the freezer on the truck or something and they get all mushy.
I guess, yeah.
So she'll take them and she'll cut them up and she'll put some like an oatmeal thing on it and then put syrup on it and it makes like an apple crisp kind of thing. Yeah. So we always have syrup for that.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do with your fruit that's kind of a little past its prime. Still good, but you got to find some way to mush it up into something.
Yeah. Well, that's the same with bananas. You can do the banana bread or you can make yourself some banana pancakes.
Those are the first two I go to: banana bread, banana pancakes.
Rocket Sauce dreamt about going out for Mexican food and getting a bunch of chips, beans, and salsa.
Please, I've been dreaming about that for like 15 years. Although I was walking through the city a couple weeks ago, and there's a new taco place that opened up, and then they do Taco Tuesday where stuff is half off. But haven't had a chance to go.
Well, you should go.
Tacos, burritos, and hot dogs. 3 things that you normally can't find.
Can't even get a hot dog in Japan?
It's not as easy as you'd think. You can find some in like the supermarket, but it's not like a hot dog. It's more just like a small sausage, and they're not that good. And sometimes you find them in bakeries, like they've got some sort of baked hot dog bread thing. It's just not the same. I like being able to walk down to the corner and have the dirty water hot dog man there.
Street meat.
Yeah. There was another one. I was up by the train terminal in my home city, where it was called Boulevard Drinks, and you go in there and they just had a big griddle with just tons of hot dogs on them, and they had all the rolls there, and you go, hey, what do you want? And this and this, and they get them to you in like 30 seconds, and then you're sitting at the counter eating them.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I haven't done that since the ballpark. You go to the ballpark. If you go inside and order a hot dog, it's like $9, $10, $11, $12, whatever the heck it is. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Whereas you just get a hot dog at one of the vendors outside the stadium, it's $2.
Yeah, like a hot dog price.
$3 if you want the sausage.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. Talking about food is really depressing me right now because all the things I can't have. You're on lockdown. It's like, I got to wait a little bit. I'm waiting years here.
Well, it's been a year now. It's getting on to a year. Like the last time we went to a restaurant was February 20 something. Now we've gotten takeout, which is usually sushi and pho, which you could get over in Japan.
Yeah.
But in lockdown again.
How strict is this lockdown?
It's pretty strict. Like
Businesses all closed up, or
I mean they're telling everyone that they can't go out, only go out for food, exercise, medical reasons, and work. That's it. And I actually got into work yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, here's your exemption letter that you need to show the police if you get stopped by the police."
Oh, really?
I'm like, what? What is this? So apparently somebody at work. Now, apparently they were in Toronto, so I think they were they were taking the transit to work or whatever. But apparently they were stopped twice by a cop to ask them where they were going. I haven't seen that on the highway at all, but it was enough that some of the higher ups at work just sent out letters to everybody. So not only now, now it's at the point where I have to fill out something online to say that I'm not sick before I go into work. And now I got to carry around a letter to prove that I'm okay to travel and go to work.
Oh my goodness, you got to carry a piece of paper with you. Hope you're all right.
It's like Nazi Germany, man. Where are your papers? Where are your papers? Jeez.
I don't know. I hope that it's just they've got people's safety in mind, and it's not just the cops just being dicks. Like,
the cases
let's go mess with these people.
The cases here are ridiculous. They're skyrocketing.
U.S. numbers.
I mean, the U.S. has more of a population than we do, right? So I don't know what it is percentage-wise, but really it's our healthcare system that's on the brink of collapsing because they are so rammed, because so many people are getting sick right now. So that's really the important thing and the idea for the lockdown.
Right.
And it's crazy that it has to come to this. It has to come to where people need to be told not to do the things that they are doing.
Well, I mean, people were told that a year ago.
I know.
It's like now they need to be really told.
Yeah.
This is when the parent calls the kid over. Look, I explained this to you before. They got to sit you down and have the long conversation.
Yeah. And people still they're going about doing their thing, oh yeah, everything's fine, everything's good. I don't have to do this. Oh, that's the people on TV. They're the ones that are getting sick. I won't get sick. I'll be fine.
It won't happen to me. I'm being careful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I got a mask and I'm taking all precautions, which is fine. But really, at the end of the day, not going out is still the best way to not spread COVID. And then you hear I'm seeing people on Facebook and that, because the messaging from the government was a complete shit show. Like, people were really confused as to what they could do and what they can do. Like, is there still a bubble? Is there still the group that you can hang out with? Can I still go see mom and dad? And then, which are legit questions. And then you got the dummies that are like, can I go ice skating? We could ice skate. Come on. Like, really? You're wasting
COVID can't survive on the ice.
Come on. It's exercise. Can we go for ice skating? No, you can't go and congregate at the rink and with other people and go ice skating. Like, just use some common sense, I to me, it's like the whole texting and driving thing. Like, before there was a law to text and drive, like they were, it was obvious, like, you cannot text and drive. You cannot do that. You're gonna be distracted. You're gonna get into an accident. It's something you shouldn't do. But people kept doing it, and then they had to come up with a law for it. And this is the same thing. It's like, no, I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. And then they finally have to come up with a law for it to tell you that no, you can't.
I hope they start doing it here, because we're not on lockdown, and the government really doesn't want to enter any kind of lockdown. They got all these stupid campaigns for traveling and stuff, and then they're still planning on going ahead with the Olympics in the summer, which is just ridiculous. And now our numbers are starting to rise. And even where I live, which is not in one of the major cities or anything, we're kind of more countryside, but numbers are going up. And every day, the governor of our prefecture has requested from the government to put in a state of emergency for our area. They're like, no, that's not necessary. So the government was like, the governor was like, screw that. I'm just going to say it myself to all the local citizens. Treat it like you're in lockdown.
Yeah.
State of emergency. But things are peaking over here as well. Not to U.S. levels or anything like that, but numbers going up every day.
Chris Roberts says, I'm getting the first shot of vaccine Saturday. Bill Gates will always know where I am now, and I'm okay with that. And Kyle says howdy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe there's a little chip in there. Who knows?
No, it's part of a chip. That's why you got to get
Oh, that's why you
different
got going twice,
vaccines.
right?
Yep.
It connects together
Oh yeah.
once you get your second shot.
It'll form Voltron once you get all your shots in there.
Yeah.
So we've done depressing foods we can't eat. Depressing can't go outside. Depressing gotta go carry papers with you. Anything fun to talk about?
No. Well, I played. Okay, so you were talking about Rogue Squadron. You busted out the N64, and we're playing
And I
some
said
Rogue
how
Squadron.
it sucks. Yes.
Yeah, I got to disagree.
Still
I played
enjoying
it.
it?
I played it on the PC.
Mhm.
It was a little weird. I remember you were saying on the PC you were having issues with the
The
controls.
controls. Yeah. I haven't played the PC version in a while, but I was accustomed to the N64.
Right. Yeah, well, same with me. That's what I played it back in the day.
So I don't. I guess I was playing it with like the 360 controller or something like that, and it just didn't feel right. Something about it.
No, I think you were playing with a mouse and keyboard because
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
because I was
Oh, yeah,
having
yes, you're right.
yeah
Because it was so sensitive. I felt like I had
yeah
to turn down the mouse sensitivity as much as I could because I kept doing nosedives. I couldn't keep a straight line.
yes I was having the same issue, and it turns out that the problem is that it's an older game, and Windows did this weird thing back then where they would make you, if you wanted to run a program and make changes to certain programs, you had to run it as an administrator. And then as Windows 10 kind of did away with that, there's some of the old programs still have that hang up.
Mhm.
So what you have to do if you want to change the controls for that game is actually go into the file and right click and say run this as the administrator, and then it'll let you play the game with the controller.
Huh.
I know it's kind of stupid, but as soon as I did that, and I was using the Xbox One controller, and I was having fun. I was even like, I was remembering things like where things are in that, and I was getting some gold and silver, a little bit of bronze on some of the levels, but yeah, it held up to me. And then I did play some Battlefront 2, and
Which Battlefront 2?
the regular Star Wars Battlefront, or is it Battlefield? Battlefront, right? Battlefront is the
That 2005-ish?
yes, the old
Or
one,
the
classic.
new, because they like Epic Games just gave away Battlefront 2 like yesterday.
They did
Like the
like
new one, yeah.
oh
That's
really?
the new freebie. So
Oh, I better
it's
get on that.
available right now.
No, I
That's
played the
like the first person shooter one.
right. No, I played the classic one, and
I still have that on my computer. Like every time I play a game, I'll delete it when I'm done, but I kept that one up there.
I see what you're saying, like how it is, like the flying and stuff like that is better. But I still had to to get to the flying. I was playing through the campaign, and I had to play as a soldier and stuff like that. And I just wanted to get flying, so I got out of the campaign and I went into the skirmish mode.
Yes,
And
yes.
I started doing that, and then I couldn't remember how to take down. Like, there's a certain order you have to take down things on the Star Destroyer, right? You have to take down some shields, and then you can start taking down other things.
Well, I don't think you have to do it one way or the other. It's very difficult if you don't do it in that order.
Yeah, so I was getting my ass kicked because I couldn't remember anything.
Well, pretty much you start targeting the gun turrets so you can get closer to the docking bay, and then once you get in there, you can start.
See,
fighting your way
there's
through.
stuff I couldn't remember. There's stuff I wasn't
That's
doing.
common sense. We
Wasn't doing
gotta
it.
make a law telling you how to
Yes,
take down a Star Destroyer.
I just didn't mess around with it long enough to. But anyways, I think both were fun. I was having a good time with both of them. So
I don't know. Yeah, I really didn't put much time into Rogue Squadron. I'm sure if I sat down with it, I'd enjoy it more.
well, yeah, try that if you want to play it on the PC. Try that running it as an administrator.
Maybe if I could remember that. I have so many issues with some of these PC games. I don't know if you've really dipped into Ghostbusters Remastered, but I got some issues with that.
Uh-oh. Well, maybe we'll find out next month what those
Yeah.
issues are. You're playing it on the Epic Store, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that'll be the same one I'm playing, so we'll
Mhm.
see. We'll
We'll
see what's
see.
up. And just one more game I bought. I didn't really buy too much on the sale, like the winter sale over Christmas. Most of what I bought were gifts for other people because they kept buying me gifts. So I'm like, okay, well, I better buy you something.
Right.
So that's all I bought. So the only game I bought for myself was Stranglehold, which is it's a game by John Woo, and he has a series. There's like Killers, and I think it's Replacement Killers is the second one or something. You know anything about that series?
Nope.
So John Woo's the director, and I can't remember the name of the guy that acts in it. I'm really bad with it. I should have found out and wrote it down, but I didn't. So there was a part 1 and a part 2 of these movies. They're like high action films, and he came out with this game. It came out on the Xbox 360 and PC and PS3, and it's like the third movie of this series. I haven't watched the series at all, so I don't know how well it ties in, but I just started playing this game. I saw a review of it a little while ago, so that's what, it was $3.50 on GOG. So I said, what the heck? I'm going to buy this and try it out. So it's a third person game, and it's kind of like Max Payne meets Max Payne to like the extreme version of Max Payne, I guess. Like you're doing the jumps and you're going into slow-mo and you're shooting the guys and stuff like that. But it's like your character can go on like handrails down the stairs and doing the slow-mo thing and shooting a bunch of guys. And then you can run up to like a deli counter and slide on the deli counter and shoot up a bunch of guys all in slow-mo. There's like little things like there'll be a bunch of guys in front of you and there'll be a little thing that'll flash on a sign. So instead of trying to shoot the 3 guys, if you shoot the sign, it'll take the sign will fall and take out the 3 guys.
Nice.
Kind of thing. And it's just like straight up action all the time. The only thing is that it's I find like if the screen is a little too zoomed in, like the field of view isn't wide enough. It's definitely like a port of like the 360 game onto the PC, because generally on your console games, like your field of view is smaller because you're sitting so far back from the screen, right? So you don't need to see as much peripherally around you. But on the computer, you're sitting up close to the screen, and it's just like an image that's blowing up in front of you, and you want to like kind of push the image back so you don't have to, so it doesn't give you as much, like it's just too much. Like you're just zoomed in too much. You're trying to see out of the side of your eyes and you can't, kind of thing. So I'm trying to look for a fix for that online. But other than that, it's
sit back.
I could do that, but I'd have to find like my mouse and keyboard are up here, and I'd have to find like I was doing this. I was like sitting back doing this, but that's really it's not that comfortable.
You got to get yourself a little TV tray in your chair and just pull back with your keyboard and your mouse.
I do have a TV tray right here, so maybe I could do that. Maybe that'll work. Who knows?
Simple solution.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's a lot of action. Like you just go in a room, bunch of guys, shoot them up, clear them out, move on to the next one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Neat. I haven't bought anything on any game sale for quite a while now because I got so much stuff in my backlog.
Yeah, for free.
Trying to. Well, that's it. All these Epic games. Yeah, that's what I did. I collected the new Epic game every day.
Yeah, I did that too.
A couple of good ones in there.
Yeah,
I don't remember what they are now, but at the time I was like, "Oh wow, okay, yeah."
They were. There was a list, like a list that was leaked prior to it, and the games on the leaked list were much better than what they actually gave out. We actually did our last episode of Quick Save Club was all about the leaked list and streaming about them actually giving out these games for free, but it never happened. But let me see what's in the Epic Games store, Come on, Epic Games.
While we're waiting, since Kyle's here, I'm going to say thank you again to Kyle. He gifted me a game
Oh,
over
yeah?
the holidays. Yes. And I know what game it is, but I can't remember the title. I know exactly what game it is. I just can't remember what it is. So thanks,
Well,
Kyle.
let me get Battlefront.
And Kyle's a tough
2.
one to get back to
I know.
because he doesn't show his want list.
Yes, he's got to get a want list up. If you want to get games on the Steam, you got to put up you got to make a wish list so people know what to get.
Make a wish list, yes. Because he's got. I'm guessing Kyle's new to the Steam because he basically has like Beyond Good and Evil. Thank you, Kyle.
There you go. Oh, that's a good one.
He basically has like Half-Life and maybe Left 4 Dead or something like that. Kind of like the core stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I need a little more Kyle flavor.
Well,
I don't know
got
if
him.
there are many Iron Man games on Steam.
I got him. What's that 2D side scroller with Rambo and
Broforce?
Arnold? Broforce. That's what I got him.
I was thinking of playing that again. That's a fun game.
And I got so many games in my Epic store now that I got for free. I can't even narrow down which were the free ones.
I know they were giving out Torchlight 2 again.
Yeah.
So I missed out on one day.
Well, wasn't it at the end? Didn't they give them like you can get any of them? Like, there was a day where they had like anything that you missed.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe I'm thinking.
No, I mean like they gave away things that they had already given away before.
Oh,
so it's, I already own it.
I see.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you a single game that they gave away now.
Well, one of them was Darkest Dungeon. Tyranny, was that one of them? I think so. Tyranny, the Gold Edition. Tabs, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. I think that was one.
No,
that wasn't.
Unless it's regional difference, but I don't think so because
the
they
Messenger?
gave away that garbage a while ago, and man, I tried that.
What about the Messenger? Messenger.
Hang on, let me find my.
I think the Messenger was one.
Where's my Epic list?
Hey,
I had that GOG Galaxy, that GOG Galaxy installed, and then the whole thing just like stopped working one day.
You might need to reinstall it.
Yeah, it just like every time I click on it, just nothing would happen.
Kyle is looking for Essential, Valve, and Star Trek RPGs. Well, put them in your wish list. I don't know what Star Trek RPGs there are. Star Trek RPGs? Unless you mean the point-and-click games.
Star Trek. Maybe he's wishing for Star Trek
Oh,
RPGs.
could be.
What is this? Now I can't even log into my Epic account.
I don't think there is a Star Trek RPG. There's the online game, Star Trek Online.
I know that Voyager had a first-person shooter.
Yes, 2. There was a part 1 and part 2.
Really?
Yeah. I have those. I got them from some pirates because it's the only way you can get that game now. And I started playing it, and it's the memories are better.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't remember what they gave away. But I took it all. Took them all.
For you.
But all I've been playing was that same point and click Deponia series. I'm on the third one now.
Oh wow.
And I'm pretty sure I'm towards the end. And I got to say the third one so far is the best.
Really? They're getting better.
Well, it really feels like just one long game because the story continues exactly where it was from, and they didn't really resolve everything they set up in the first one or the second one. It's just the same thing.
Right.
So your goal from the first game is still the same in the third game. The story is like, who cares? It's overly. It's fairly simple, but they just keep dragging it out. And I don't really care about the story. I just want to solve the puzzles. And in terms of gameplay, the third one has gotten more interesting because I think some of the puzzles that were a bit too obtuse in some of the earlier ones, they seem to have found that perfect zone where it's challenging but not frustrating. And now they do. They've got this thing going on where you're actually controlling 3 characters at the same time in different locations that will have an effect on the other location.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that with Day of the Tentacle,
Mm.
which was a really good point and click game where you're going through time in that one, and all the actions can affect things, and that'll help you solve problems in the other one. So the gameplay is more engaging. It's not just the simple level 1. It feels like it's getting progressively more interesting. So still an obnoxious character, but fun gameplay.
Playing
Point and
games.
click games, okay.
Yeah, that's what he meant. The point and click ones.
Point and click.
So there you go.
I still got to get back to those too.
Me too. And like I played through 25th anniversary, really enjoyed it, and I keep starting Judgment Rights, and there's so much in that game that it actually does better, but for some reason I only get so far, and a lot of it is too that I don't think it has the cloud save thing, so every time I download it, I have to start back at the beginning, which is fine because you can kind of remember what you were doing, but you're self-destructo. Hello.
Well, I just remember that every time I started up 25th anniversary, you can't skip that first cutscene.
Yes.
And you got to sit there for 5 minutes just,
LSI warrior, whatever the heck, the pirate. You have to click through all of his dialogue. Or no, it's the captain, right?
It's the captain and talking about they're doing the battle simulation.
Right. That's the one. Yeah. But if you start a level, I think you got to do the same thing at the start of a. No, it's just at the start of the game. Okay, never mind.
Anyways, if when I go back to that game, I'm going to go with my printed out walkthrough in hand of exactly which tricorder I need to use first. Otherwise, you can't progress through the level. It's a bittersweet.
It makes sense.
But oh my god, the attention to detail, it's so impressive. At the same time, I want to finish this level.
It's a blast too that it's all the original voice cast. Like that that's the last Star Trek thing that they did together, and it's cool.
Yeah. Okay, what else we got in here?
Well, I watched a show called Wandavision because I had to go in early to get the Wandavision. That was the show.
A Marvel thing, right?
Yeah, so that was the show that dropped on Disney Plus at 12:01 a.m. last night. So there was 2 episodes, and I said, "What the heck? Why not? I'll watch it."
Well, can you tell me what that title refers to? What is WandaVision?
So Wanda is a character on the show, or in the movies. Wanda is a character, and I'm not going to spoil anything. And Vision is a character on the.
Okay, yeah, I know Vision.
Yeah,
Wanda.
So Wanda Vision.
Sykes.
And look, I'm not going to spoil anything because I don't know what the heck is going on. None of it makes any sense to me. I have no like. So
is this something that makes sense if you watch all the movies, or do you have to watch another TV show? I
don't think so.
This is just its own thing.
It's one of those things where it starts and you have like they don't really explain what is happening. You have to you'll find out later kind of thing. So it's kind of a neat idea. It starts off, Wanda is Scarlet Witch's name.
Okay.
So it's kind of a neat idea, like to start off where you got a mystery or whatever. So you can kind of have some fun with the characters, right? Like you can kind of put them in a different situation or something like that. Not something that they would normally do as you slowly reveal something. So I kind of like that idea, but it's like, my phone's going nuts. Maybe it's telling me that shut up. Don't spoil anything. My phone doesn't
probably.
But it's like one. So they're stuck in like this TV show, like a really old TV show, and as the like it was episode 1 was like a 50s TV show, and episode 2 is like a 60s TV show that they're stuck in. I have no idea why. I don't know what's going on. The characters have no idea why they're there. They're not questioning why they're there. They feel compelled to do the things that they're doing. But they're living out like an old episode of a TV show. Like, and it was like, that was the joke in the first one. It's like, hey, look, we're in an old TV show. We're stuck in it. And we have the same problems as somebody would have on a character on an old TV show. And then it was the same thing in the second episode. And I have no idea why it's happening. There's some mystery stuff that happens that makes you, oh, well, it's time to explain something, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And it's not that funny. Like, the stuff that's happening is like,
oh, it's a comedy. Like,
well, they're stuck in like a sitcom.
I get it. Yeah.
A sitcom, right? So they're doing the sitcom jokes, and it's kind of like, something like Bewitched or the Munsters or something like that. Like, their characters are out of
place. Yeah.
Out of place. Fish out of water kind of thing. Which, okay, but get the funny, like, if they would make it funny, like if I was like, oh, like that, sure, like I'll get to, if the show's good, we'll get to the answers later. That's fine. But it's just, I really don't understand what's going on.
Is it Paul Bettany and the actress from the movies?
Yes.
Like they are locked into these contracts, right? There's no,
yeah.
I'm not going to do a TV show. Or anything.
Well, I don't think they don't have that kind of star power. I mean, they're just like,
well, that's why they're getting the TV shows.
Well, and apparently too, like this show wasn't meant to be the first show. COVID kind of mixed up the order. This was like the show that I guess they either had done, or it was easier for them to do this show with COVID restrictions than the other stuff that they have in mind. So apparently that, like, I had people explaining stuff to me on Facebook. So that apparently that is.
Oh, the nerds are going to yell you down.
Oh, I mean, whatever, man. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything on this stuff, but I don't know. I watch a show for a show. I watch a movie for a movie. I have no idea if it's true to comic books or whatever. I don't care. I just want to be entertained. I'm watching this for a show. I want to be entertained while I watch a show, and it's not. It feels like the neat thing is it does feel like a comic book, like a continuing comic book series thing would do something like weird like this in a comic book. Like, hey, let's do something different. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the concept. It just make the thing funny. Like, you're just taking an old script of a TV show, and you're taking out Ralph Crampton or Herman Munster, and you're putting in Vision, or like, and it's not a direct, like, it's all wink and nod stuff. It's not like a direct ripoff. They don't take like an actual script and redo it, but it's like the same concepts kind of thing, which I'm not going to spoil. I don't want to spoil for anyone. So.
I think you need more hype. You got to be like, wow, this is a Marvel thing. I'm seeing it. It's new.
It's Marvel. So just
look, I watched the Marvel. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah,
make an online review and put a thumbnail of yourself there.
So I don't think the show is supposed to be funny, as it's more of a mystery. There's not much mystery there. I mean, they do a full show, and then at the end you'll get like a little snippet of, oh, something's happening here. Something's happening. Is this the point where they're going to find out what's going on, and then that's it? Then you're on to the next show, and now we're in the 60s, and you have no idea why the characters are stuck in here, who's doing this to them, or something like that. Apparently, this is supposed to bleed into Doctor Strange 2 as well. It's supposed to be like a build-up to Doctor Strange 2. Which,
maybe it's Mojo. Remember Mojo from the X-Men?
No.
An alien guy who did like a TV show?
No. They are supposed to be bringing mutants into the MCU as well. Like New Mutants or something, or I don't know.
They got X-Men and all that now?
I don't know. I don't think so. But mutants are in there. I don't know. Anyways,
they couldn't just use mutants before? Just generic mutants?
Right. And I understand, like, it's not supposed to be a comedy, but they're in the comedy section of the show. So you got got to give me something. You can't be just like, let's sit here for a half an hour, watch like I'm watching an old sitcom without the charm of the characters and that in those old sitcoms. And then, you know, like you watch, like if I watched an old Munster show, like Fred Gwynn is just excellent on that show, and you're watching for those performances in that. Whereas these guys are just kind of doing a rip off of that, which is fine if it was interesting,
Funny.
you know, like funny and interesting, you know. Wanda is a mutant. Well, there you go. And it's a multiverse thing.
There you go. Spoilers.
Sure. I mean, that's great, but just make it good. Make it interesting.
Well, I'm going to know all about it because I decided I'm finally going to watch all these Marvel movies.
Right on. Good for you. Where you starting?
That's my challenge.
All right, so I saw on the online you had a poll up.
Yeah, because I decided, all right, let me watch these things. And I know, you know, people were watching them in order. So I don't know how many movies there are. So I click on a link and see how many of these movies there are. And there's like 20 something of them. And then it said like, oh, the 2 ways to watch them. Like, what do you mean 2 ways? I think you just watch like this came out, then this came out, then this came out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, there's chronologically, if you watch, you know, from like Captain America started back, you know, during World War II. So if you watch that stuff first and then like, okay. So I asked the Twitter people and like 95%, 99% of them just watch them in order. And then like one little person is like, oh no, you should watch them chronologically.
Yeah. No, that person's wrong because the reason why you want to watch them in the order that they came out is because at the end of the movies,
right. I know the post credit scene things. Now, does every movie have one of those?
Yes.
Do I gotta like sit there and like fast forward through the credits
yes.
to get the little
30-second
thing?
Yes.
And is it worth it?
Yes.
Really?
Sometimes it depends. They kind of vary, but sometimes it's really worth it. Other times it's kind of like, you know, oh,
it's just a little joke,
like, well, it'll be like, okay, so like in 2008 they would reveal, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but Sam Jackson is in the movies, you know, so that's where you would find out like, oh, Sam Jackson is going to be playing so and so in the next movie.
Okay, but like in hindsight, that's not gonna
but but there are times where there are like little things in there that they throw in at the end and that ties into other movies and all that. So
okay,
watching them in theatrical chronological order, that is for like the nerds who have watched the movies over and over again and they need something to mix it up.
I could see that. I don't know. No, I'm just gonna go through in the order of release, and if I think it was like 23 movies are currently out. I'm not counting any of the ones that are to be released because forget that. That's not on my list. I'm going for what's there right now.
Sure.
So I know it starts with Iron Man.
Yes.
And I don't know where it ends. I don't know what the last one was. But that's my first 2 is Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk, which I have seen both of those already, but it's been a while. So I've actually seen like a third of these movies over the years, just in different orders. So my goal is I'm going to watch 2 every month, and I'll be able to finish them off by the end of the year. If I end up enjoying myself, maybe I'll start watching them faster. But if I don't make it through 2 in 1 month, I might give up. And January's already half over, and I haven't started. So
I think, and I'm pretty sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, I think the last movie is still the last Spider-Man movie, I believe.
The one with Jamie Foxx.
Was he in that?
No,
that's amazing.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Those movies are terrible. I'm guessing they're terrible. I've only watched
I saw the first one when it came out. And I remember that because I hadn't been to the movie theater in years. And then they came out like, oh, new Amazing Spider-Man. All right, I'll go to the movies. And I was like, man, this is garbage.
I started watching it, and there was Moody Peter Parker on a skateboard. who was too cool for school. And I'm like, this is not the kind of Peter Parker I care to spend the next hour and a half with. So goodbye. I'm done. Kyle says, I haven't seen it yet myself, but it's probably the strange tie-in part. He's screwing up with reality on WandaVision. Yeah, I get that. But I mean, like just a little snippet at the end, like just get to it. You know, if it was interesting, if it was fun, if I was having fun, I'd be like, yeah, let's stretch this out and have some fun with these characters. But and then Kyle wants to do an Iron Man live thing.
Iron Man live thing.
And I told you someone would tell me Spider-Man Far From Home is the last. That's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio. That's the last one.
Okay.
So the other TV show I've been watching is Kim's Convenience. We went. Did we go from one Canadian show to another? No, we didn't. I don't know. Started up. This is another Canadian show. This show takes place in Toronto. It's a family who runs a convenience store. There's a dad, the mom, and their daughter, and then their son, who kind of is sort of with the family, kind of not. Anyways, yeah, it's good. Good little funny show. It's not hysterical. It's just, light comedy kind of thing with some good characters that grow on you after a while. The guy who started the show, I used to work with him. He plays Mr. Kim. I worked with him on a show that we did called Train 48, which the only person on the planet who remembers the show is Miles. Milo the Gathering Miles.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he watched it every day. Good for him. But yeah, it was good. It's good that I see like this guy now having success with this show. That's pretty cool. They're in their 5th season now. And we watched, we're almost done the 3rd season. We just started around Christmas time. So we're working our way through it. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Was
Watch
I
any
watching
movies?
TV? I don't. I'm blanking. I don't think I watched much this past week. I saw Ninja Turtles with my kids.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me go to the list.
You're still keeping a list?
I'm still keeping a list. I'm just not posting it because nobody cares. So if anybody asks me, I can say, "Oh, look at that! We got Big Timer Bill." I thought he passed us by. He's hanging out with his rock and roll buddies.
Which
cover of Rolling Stone? That guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, congratulations! Right in Rolling Stone. Very nice. I'm gonna be like the next Vinyl Connection, I think it's tomorrow we're recording. So I'm going to be on with Bill, who's on the cover of Rolling Stone. Mm-hmm. We got the guy who's been interviewed by Vox with Chris Roberts. You got Matt Bandy with like the Amazing Music Collection. Mm-hmm. Then you got Hollywood star Curtis, and then me.
And little old you.
This is like, why am I here? I'm just
hanging with the giants.
I think I'm there to make them all feel better.
Yeah. They need a roadie,
Yeah. Someone to pick everything up for them.
I did watch Godzilla King of the Monsters.
So is that's the new one?
That's the second US Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Okay. Well, I don't have to watch that one.
No. I'd say just go watch the monster scenes on YouTube and forget all the human stuff. But even the monster stuff was not.
Is it CG or is
it's all CG? Yeah. This is a contemporary American blockbuster movie. Come on.
Bill says I'm the fluffer. You couldn't afford my fluffs. Let me tell you, couldn't afford it. You'd have to sell off a lot of that stuff behind you, Bill. If you want one of my fluffs. That was it? You just watched that? So CG or a guy in a suit?
No guys in suits. It's all computer monsters fighting computer monsters.
Oh, good.
No bueno. They do mention King Kong because I guess they're still setting up that whole monster fighting monster.
It's gonna be a big versus.
Oh, Oh, that just got me excited. Hang on. Remember
That's
that
all it took?
last week I told you those classic Universal monster
Yes.
movies are
Yeah.
coming out? I think one of them's dropping today. I think
Oh,
Dracula.
nice.
Um,
Oh,
Fear the Home of Horror. Hang on. I'll tell you right now.
I forgot to bring it down, but
Set reminder, set reminder.
I got something on. Yeah, I didn't bring it down. I got something based on your recommendation. So over the Christmas holidays, Unobstructed View, who sell Blu-rays in Canada online, they were having a big sale, and one of the things they had on sale was the Buster Keaton collection from
Ooh.
it's like 1917 to 1920 something.
Look at that. You got 100-year-old
Yeah,
films. Isn't that
yeah.
something?
So I started watching because you can find a lot of the stuff online, like just on YouTube and whatever. And some like the stunts on a lot of these things. I know it's a lot of it is optical effects and whatnot, but they're incredible. Just the timing and
Oh
everything,
yeah.
you know. And they were shooting them with those old movies at 18 frames per second. So like I don't know, just the whole style of the whole thing is pretty cool. So they had the box set on sale, and the only thing with the box set was, well, we're gonna have to charge you a little bit more for it because it's a box set. And I'm like, oh geez. So I'm doing like the thing, and I'm looking it up on Amazon, and I'm like, okay, it still works out to cheaper. It's a little bit, you know, but whatever. I'll get this thing. So I bought it, and it comes it comes in like I'm thinking box set, right? Box set. It comes in like a thing that's like just a little bit thicker than a regular Blu-ray. I'm like, why did you have to charge more for this? It's ridiculous. It's about like as thick as like a Criterion Collection Blu-ray, you know? Yeah.
Oh, I can mention that. Like, look what I finally bought on Blu-ray. You're gonna love it. I finally bought RoboCop on Blu-ray.
Very good, excellent. About time.
I got another Blu-ray. Look at
Oh
that.
man,
I got like 5 or 6 of them now.
wait, hold on. I got something else to show you. Hold on.
Oh boy, time to wave things in front of the camera. Where are you going? Still can't believe that's a basement. Look how much space you got in there. Here he comes.
Totally forgot about this. Check this out. 4K
Ooh,
Tremors.
look at that. Just the original.
Yeah, big deluxe set. So this is an Arrow video set, and it came out just last month, and it wasn't cheap. But I said, screw it, it's Tremors.
So how many versions of Tremors do you have now?
2.
Because I remember you saying you bought Tremors, that story of like you could have bought the box set or you could buy it individually for a couple bucks more.
Yeah. So I still have that Blu-ray. It's just that on Blu-ray. Yeah, let me
Are you opening it now?
This is a live unboxing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Just devalue your merchandise.
Oh, I don't care. I want to watch this. Yeah, so this was like the thickness of the Buster Keaton box set. Just that.
Okay. So what else are you getting there?
You got a coupon for Walter Chang's.
Ooh,
50% off.
nice.
Looks like some cards, some movie cards. Arrow puts together really nice sets.
Do they have like bubblegum cards in there?
I don't see bubblegum.
That'd be cool if you got like a
They're like
Val and Earl collector's cards. Little
like
movie
movie
stills,
cards.
yeah. Postcards.
Yeah. Those are pretty cool. So you got a disc of the movie in 4K, and then the bonus disc is a regular Blu-ray. And then they give you they always throw ads in for something else. Good old Arrow. And then this also comes with a book and a poster. And
that surprises me that they still have those little paper insert advertisements. I thought that was an old thing. Check out these other DVDs.
well, Arrow is like old school. Like this is all old school stuff. This like they do this stuff for collectors. So you got a book in here. I don't want to break the spine. It's going full Joe on here.
Ooh.
Keep it full. So you got a lot of reading.
You should be wearing gloves.
I know. A lot of reading in there. And then it looks like it comes with 2 posters. You got like a City of Perfection, established 1902.
Nice.
And then you get like a little medical breakdown there of your graboid.
Ooh, that's cool.
This is all good stuff for the people listening, by the way. Check out the video on YouTube if you want to see all this stuff. And then you get a nice poster in here. I hope it's double-sided. Let's see. Phew, this thing stinks.
Bill wants you to set up a lend movie mailing service.
Look at that. That's the old poster right there.
Yeah, that's the classic.
That sucker's got to go up. And then this is the new cover, which I'm
it's okay.
Whatever. That's the side that goes up though. Right there.
You're gonna hang that up on the back of your door.
Might hang that up back there so you can see it. Be jealous every time we do a show. There you go.
You should get wild and put it on your ceiling.
No, that's where you put the girly poster, like in Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
There you go. Movie lending service. You have some requests.
Well, you could be like old school Netflix, mail out discs to people.
Yeah, and then I have to keep track of who has what and all that stuff.
No, they're not sending them back.
No, they're keeping it. Okay, so then other movies I watched. I've been like when I did my movie list for 2020, I was like I'm not getting to all these streaming services that I'm paying for. So I'm like that's my mission this year is to start getting to some of these movies that I'm paying for these services. Let's watch them. So the big one on that I've been meaning to get to for a while on Amazon Prime was a movie called Palm Springs.
Oh, with Lonely Island guy.
Not Adam Sandler. Andy Samberg.
Yes. This is the Groundhog Day kind of movie.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about this movie. Nothing at all. And that's the best way to go. Don't I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Just go and just watch it.
Okay, was it good? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. Like, okay, so it was one of those movies where I watched it and I was like, okay, yeah, that was pretty good. It was really hyped up for me though, so it's kind of like, yeah, it was okay. And then the day goes by and you're still thinking about it. You're still thinking about that movie. You're still thinking about what happened in it and the characters, and it just gets better. The further you get away from the end of that movie, the more you think about it, the better it gets.
All right.
Yeah. So I recommend that one. I also watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That is Cheadle. Not Cheadle. Not Don Cheadle. What the heck's his name? Boz Skaggs. Not Boz Skaggs. What the heck's Chadwick Boseman. I got there without looking it up. He's the guy who played Black Panther, who passed away from the cancer. This was his last role before he passed away. I don't see us having an Oscars this year because he just won them all. Watch this movie and he's got it all. He's won them all. Best actor, best supporting actor. He won best picture. He won best actress. Won best supporting actress. He's got them all. Just give them all to him. And then, that's 20.
When did they announce the Oscar thing?
Soon. It's very soon.
Right?
Soon.
Because are they even going to do Oscars? A virtual Oscar?
Oh, it'll be virtual. Yeah. Bill says Blind Fury is on Prime.
I remember that being fun. I've only seen it once. It was a couple of years ago. Watched it on Laserdisc. It was a good time.
Well, I'm writing it down. I'll get to that.
That's a fun movie.
And then I watched I've been going through the thing. So that was on Netflix, and then I went to Disney Plus and I watched Soul. That's the latest Pixar film with Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey.
Pixar still knocking them out of the park.
They hit a solid double.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a home run, but it was a solid double. Like there's just a little something missing from the movie that wasn't. So it's not as good as Up or Inside Out, but it's still really good.
Well, more importantly, was John Ratzenberger in there somewhere?
I think they kind of cut ties with the Ratzenberger a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, he's a bit of a Trump guy, and I think they're like, we liked you when you weren't a Trump guy, and now you're a little bit of a Trump guy.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
I mean, maybe he was in there. There was a lot of characters, but I didn't pick him up. I was getting characters though left and right though. Like Sarah was like, "Is that Amy Schumer?" I'm like, "No, that's Tina Fey. That's Tina Fey." And then she was like, "Is that I don't know, so and so?" I'm like, "No, that's Moss from the IT crowd." I was getting the voices, and then we'd look them up, and the only one I didn't get was that I can't remember his name, but he's got a talk show in England. That guy has a character in the. Anyways,
that's my favorite part of when I watch like an animated movie with my kids.
Yeah,
I just listen for the voices.
That's right. You point them out. Oh, that's
and I point them out, and they have no idea who the person.
That's right.
Is. But it entertains me.
They'll appreciate it later.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I've been watching is James Bond movies. I've been going back because I'm getting caught up with the Star Trek, so I've been looking at the James Bond. So I have 3 solid recommendations for Richard at some future point with the Fandangos. Some point. So we were tempted to just start watching them every day, but I thought we'd burn out. So I said, you know what? Let's space it out. Let's just do one a week. So over on buriedonmars.com, you can check out my review of Dr. No, which is up. And pretty soon there'll be a review for From Russia with Love, the second one. So we're 2 movies in, 2 Sean Connerys in.
Okay.
One rest of the way. So eventually I'll have 3 solid recommendations for you.
You're going to pepper in some Austin Powers? Give yourself a break? No?
Maybe. No.
I watched the first one a year or so ago. I was like, oh, okay. Remember.
Austin Powers? I like Austin Powers a lot. I saw the third one, I think, 3 times in the theater.
Wow.
Well, because I went to see it once with some friends, and then Sarah wanted to see it. So I'm like, sure, let's go. And then when we went up to Sudbury at some point, it was still in the theater. I'm like, my parents are really into the British humor and that. And I'm like, this would be right up your alley. So let's.
That was a magic phase, a certain time of your life where you would do that. And just, I'll go to a movie. Oh, somebody else wants to see it? I'll go see it again. Kind of like the teens, early 20s, late teens, early 20s, where you're just like, I'll go see it again. I'll go see it again. Yeah.
Now, I like the fact that these new movies are coming out right to the streaming services. I don't have to go anywhere or anything.
Yeah.
Just, boom.
You watch it by yourself and then talk to me. That's it. We don't need to go sit down together.
That's right.
Watch this thing.
Exactly. Kyle's asking, still want to do a 007 Fandango? So yes, that's what we're working up to. I'm going to get 3 solid recommendations for Richard. I have in my head, like, not to spoil my reviews, but like I had in my head, like, Dr. No was okay, but From Russia with Love was better. But now I've watched them with fresh eyes, and I would reverse that opinion, So that's why I need to do these, because it's been 20, 25 years for some of these movies that I like the last time I've seen them, other than bits and parts on TV.
Hey, going back to the Marvel movies,
yes.
Is one generally considered to be like the best and the worst? Like, I'm sure they have all these rankings and things, but I've heard they're all kind of consistently, of a certain level. But is there like a real stinker in there?
You're asking the wrong person, because the ones that people don't like, I enjoy, and the ones that people really enjoy, I think they're okay. I don't think they're the best ones. Like, everyone loves Civil War. They say that's like the best one, But to me, that movie, it's just a bridge movie. Like what
It's just
happened in the
an
movie
act,
before.
one act of a much larger play.
Yeah, like there's absolutely nothing that really like it's not a full contained story. So to me, that one is just kind of like it's okay, but there's a lot of ridiculous things. But people love it. They always say that's their favorite one. I don't get it. And then the one that like Thor 2, everyone hates the second Thor movie. I think the first one is a stinker, and I love Thor 2. I think Thor 2 is a lot of fun. It's like an episode of Doctor Who to me. There's a lot of like fun science fiction in it, and bad guys, and I don't know. I really enjoy it.
Oh wow, here we go. Look at that.
There
Mention Marvel. Look at all the comments coming through.
There we go. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Then there's something
Winter
that happens.
Soldier is seen as the best. Iron Man is the best. Iron Man
which one?
3.
What do you think?
Thor
Winter
2
Soldier?
stings.
Sorry, it's Winter Soldier. I was thinking Civil War. No, Winter Soldier is the one that everyone thinks is the best, and that one's just a bridge movie. There's Civil War actually has an ending to it because they end thing. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Winter Soldier. That's the one that everyone loves, and it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a movie. It's just like let's continue on some of the stuff that happened in the previous movie so we can get to the next movie where we actually finish the story. That's my opinion too. So
Thor 2 stinks.
Everyone hates Thor 2. Everyone hates Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 has some really bad problems in it. There's some really bad plot holes in it. But the one thing that everybody hates in that movie, I think it's hysterical and I love it. But I'm not going to tell you because that's a huge spoiler for you. So
I saw that one in the theater.
Iron Man 3?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, you remember
I saw the Avengers and Iron Man 3 in the theater.
Good for you.
Look at me.
Awesome. So you remember what happens with Ben Kingsley's character in Iron Man 3?
Yeah, and I had no problem with it either
me
because I was not familiar with the comic book.
Yeah, me too.
To be perfectly frank, what is it? Batman and Spider-Man have great villains. Batman's like the number one. He's got the best gallery of villains out there, followed pretty closely by Spider-Man. And then there's a huge drop-off. Like maybe X-Men because they got Magneto. But like he's a spike, and you look at all the other villains, like the Blob, Sabretooth is fun, But then all the other comic book characters, like they don't have that nice like variety of villains. Everyone's just like, who's this guy? I don't know. So I don't care about any of these other villains.
Me too.
Make them cool for the movie. That's it.
That was my point too. It was a cool thing to happen in the movie. I thought it was funny, but all these comic book geeks, they're like ready for. They want to see what they read in the comics, right? Put onto screen. That's all they want. They don't want
exactly.
And it doesn't matter if the movie's good or not. They just want to see what they see in the comic books put onto.
Yeah. So how come I don't hear more about that Watchmen movie? Because that was literally just everything that was in the comic put on the screen. And that stunk.
Yeah, I don't know if it stunk as much for me, but
it stunk for me because it was exactly what I saw in the comic. And in that case, I'd rather just read the comic.
Yeah, well, definitely the comic did work better because the stuff that they cut out from the comic too. There was stuff in there that kind of like character building that made sense and then they cut it out in the movie. But I don't know. Yes, and Rocketshot's 100% correct here. I like the story of Civil War movie better than the book. The book, I read the book one too, and it was stupid. It was a complete waste of time.
You told me that once because the game, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Was using the Civil War thing, but when I explained it to you, you said the comic was a completely different thing, and it was all one of those. Well, we're not really fighting, It was all just a ruse.
It made no sense. Like, why did they bother to go?
I hate when they put heroes versus heroes, and there's no, Basically you accomplish nothing.
Right.
Just
there was a conflict between Iron Man and Captain America, and at the end of it, spoiler alert for these comic books, it was all Iron Man's doing. Like he was like the puppeteer that was pulling the strings, and he did it because he wanted to make a point. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you just go to Captain America and tell him your point? Why did you have to do all that stuff? It didn't make any sense. Now the Wolverine part in Civil War was really good, but they couldn't do that in the movies because they didn't have Wolverine. His part was the only good part, but in the movies they handled it a heck of a lot better.
If you're going to go through this thing and have heroes fighting heroes, you got to have some consequences. You got to have like big changes, like these two don't get along anymore, or there's something, not just this. Okay, we'll all be friends again. Everybody shake hands at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
the nerds got to see the heroes fighting heroes. Oh boy, and then now everybody's best friends again.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in reality. Like you got these heroes who have these powers, and of course they're going to have different ideologies on how to fix things. How to make things better, but it doesn't just go away. Like all that different thought, like it just doesn't magically like, oh, you made your point. Okay, well now I'm going to change the way I think about everything now. Like that's something really that just doesn't disappear. And you'd have some people that would agree with them, and some people that would agree with the others.
Oh my goodness, look, there's like a whole separate conversation going on in the chat here. Ed Norton Hulk movie. I like that one. I remember it being enjoyable.
It's better than what people say. I think the Ed Norton Hulk is okay. It's not as bad as Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is worse.
Iron Man, Avengers, Guardians, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, top 5. Avengers 2 kind of stinks. I thought that was just as good as the first one.
I don't know. I thought all the Avengers movies were good for what they were.
Mandarin thing.
Yeah, don't get Kyle going on the Mandarin thing. See, Kyle's a big Iron Man.
Kyle's the Iron Man guy. He's the one that stomping his feet about this.
Yeah. So
there can still be another Mandarin.
Well, apparently, they fixed the Mandarin. They fixed him because of the internet outrage. They fixed him. Good.
Like officially in the movie, or they just said something to quiet people down?
So
is this a spoiler thing?
I don't know. I don't know how deep you're going to go into the dive, but what they would do is they would have these MCU shorts that would come out. I think it comes out digitally somewhere, but they would add them to the Blu-rays, right? So on the Thor 2 Blu-ray, there is a short for Iron Man 3 where in the short, Ben Kingsley Mandarin was only pretending to be an actor, and he's actually Mandarin. So then that is what the nerds this morning were telling me on and I say nerds with peace and love on Facebook, was like this show called Shang-Chi, which is another Marvel show. It's all going to tie into that show. Apparently, like this new Mandarin character, he's part of the 10 Rings. And so the 10 Rings is going to tie in. So the Doctor Strange and this thing, I think, is all going to tie in together. Whatever. I'd say this is all stuff I don't really need to know. Just like I'll watch it and I'll find out when it happens. Like all these nerds, they got to find out like, oh, what's going on with this? Like I got to know ahead of time what's happening, so I can like write about it and tell everybody whether they're doing it right or wrong. Whereas like I don't need to know all this stuff. Just let me watch it, and when I find out what happens, I'll be good.
Seems like there's a lot of band-aids holding this MCU together. Lots of little like, no, cover that up. It's really hard to make like a perfect series of 28 movies. Yeah,
I think for the most part they have that. Like we're going deep. We're taking a deep dive on the negative things. Everything else has been. I mean, considering that this franchise started with a movie in 2008. And they've only made more and more money. They've gotten more and more people under the tent. After 23 movies, they had a couple of clunkers, but for the most part, they've been fantastic. Like every time, like I'm like, oh man, another MCU movie, and then I sit there and watch it, and I'm enjoying myself. You know, I mean, they're knocking it out of the park for the most part. You know, they're doing really well. So
Okay. Well, I will give them a shot as long as I try, I guess.
right. I mean, like there are some movies too. Like I didn't really care for the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gardens of the Galaxy. That
Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't care for the first one when I first watched it because it felt like a very safe movie. And then when I watched the second one, I actually appreciated what the first movie was doing because it set up all the characters for the second one where they just went kind of bonkers. They could go wild now because they did like the safe story where you can get accustomed to everybody, and now we're going crazy. You know. So anyways. Even the bad ones weren't Wonder Woman 84 bad. So there you go. You know,
all right.
I gotta agree with that. Like Wonder Woman, I've only saw the first one, but that was like
I understand that reference.
Yeah.
Which is a reference to a Marvel thing.
Oh man, referenceception. Okay. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. I think we're good. They've listened to enough to two people who have no idea what's happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to explain the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm. You wait. I'm gonna watch one of these eventually.
Just give me good movies. That's all. So when are you planning on watching the first one? When can we expect the first drop?
Well, I don't know. Maybe this weekend. I don't know. These movies are like 2 hours long, so
they can get lengthy. Yeah.
So like I don't want to do. A lot of times I have to watch a movie in parts, and watch like it over like 2 or 3 days. So if possible, I want to be able to sit down and watch the entire thing in one clip. So make shorter movies. Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a 90-minute movie.
Then you're fast forwarding. Well, part of those movies, like they look really long and they're over 2 hours, but you're fast forwarding through those credits. So we get to that 30-second clip. So that'll save you some time.
Oh boy. Yeah.
All right. Follow the Cartridge Club on Twitter at @retro_Fandango. It is
the Cartridge Club.
Whatever. What are we? Retro Fandango. Follow us on Twitter. And because we're the Cartridge Club's only weekly podcast. We're the only people who can claim that. We can't claim that we win Podcast of the Year. No. For some reason, we can't get that together. What happened to Podcast of the Year? We should have Ryan on to explain that. Where's the pod? We didn't even get our. Oh, look at this. Hey, Mrs. Q-Dog. Tuning in right at the end just to say that you watched this. Watching Captain Marvel tonight. There's another one that I really enjoyed. I loved all the 80s. Well, maybe Richard won't enjoy the 80s references in it, but I enjoyed the whole 80s thing and vibe of that one. And then some people don't like that one for some reason. I don't know. I thought it was good. I had fun. I watched it. Get a boner with Retro Fandango. Don't forget to check us over on Discord because next Saturday, the January the 23rd, 4 p.m. on the Discord channel, we're going to be firing up some Tubi trash. A movie called Long Shot Kids, or just Long Shots, and it's all about foosball. You don't want to miss. Bill says STC secretly won. It's a secret because only he knows it. Only he, because it's in his own mind. Okay, that's it.
That's it. I'm done. Yeah.
Hit and end broadcast, not leave studio.